Hello and welcome back. I have been riding my trusty steed. Let's take a look at the mini-map here. I have had to travel quite a distance. As you can see, the main base is way over here. Right? Wait a minute. Where is my main base? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong group settings here. Let's see, I can't remember how to change the group space next marker block. There we go. My base is right here. That's my base. So yeah, I traveled down in this direction over to here. I went over to here. Over here was tropical islands. And considering that I'm getting jungle bees, or they're actually called tropical bees, from a jungle, I really felt like they should have had beehives spawn in this area. Obviously, the Highlands mod and the Forestry mod don't quite match up with that. And I just kept exploring around and around. I, as much as possible, wanted to stick to land because I cannot take my horse onto boats with me. But I traveled and traveled and traveled, and I finally came across jungle. You can see there down the bottom it says jungle biome. And that's what this is. It's a jungle biome. I'm sitting here looking at the jungle biome. I just came across it, and I look up, and right there, you can barely see it, but I'm circling around it. That, my friends, is a beehive, and I believe it's a jungle beehive, which means there will be tropical bees in there, which would be really, really nice. Now, I do have to get my way up there. I'm going to have to climb this gigantic tree just to get up there, but I think I can manage that with the help maybe of some vines. So I think what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to get off my trusty steed, and I don't want him wandering away too much, so I'm going to go ahead and put down a fence post, grab a lead, and tie him off to that so he won't wander around. Now you'll notice that my inventory is rather full. I came across some marshy bees, and I went ahead and got those guys out of there. I found some melons and some other things, so I'm going to have to get rid of some stuff in order to make room for those bees. But let's go over there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I think what I'll do is I'm going to plunk down this bed. I'm not going to use it, but I'm going to stick it right there to free up some space in my inventory. And I notice that I'm a little bit low on hungry here, so I'll eat a potato. But I'm going to take this, and I'm going to get me some of these. Oops, you have to use shears to get vines, like so. And I want to get several pieces of it here. The reason being that you can climb vines if they are against a tree, like right here. Now that beehive is way up there, but you'll notice that these vines, they don't go all the way. So I'm just going to fill in the gaps, kind of like if I was using a ladder. And that will allow me to get all the way up here. And now, here I am. So I'm really, really hoping that this has got some tropical bees in it. Now I already need some space. I probably don't need this crafting bench, so let me just plunk that sucker down right here. And what else could I get rid of? Let me think for a minute. I guess I just don't really need. Let's go ahead and throw this dirt overboard, and we'll throw some of these melons overboard. I've got a stack of melons, and that's probably plenty. And of course, I picked both of those things back up right away. So that was useful. Let's try it again. Throw and throw. There we go. And so I made these scoops earlier. I made 2 scoops because 2 scoops of raisins are in every box of Raisin Bran. But I made the 2 scoops because for some reason I thought maybe I would need 2 scoops. After I got to the first beehive that had some marshy bees in them and harvested them, I realized that there was no way I would need 2 scoops, but I made them anyway. And all you do is the scoop is that you just hit the beehive and it will break apart and whatever's inside it will come out. And in this case, I got, see that? I got a tropical princess, I got a tropical drone, and I got a silky comb. And that is what I needed. I needed the tropical princess and the tropical drone, and the silky comb is sort of an added bonus, which I'm not going to complain about. So having that now, I'm going to head back down. I'm going to keep the vines, and I will show you why later. But yeah, that was great. We finally found a jungle. I finally got some tropical bees. Now, I may have a problem with them when we get back to the base, but I'm going to take my chances to see how that works. And there's a big cat there. Got to watch out for him. I don't want him to eat my horse. Yep, so we're all set there, and I'm going to head back to the base. I'll see you when I get back over there. All right, we are back at the base, and before we get started with our bees, well, this is sort of a prelude to getting started with our bees. We need to create a couple of pieces of equipment that we will use to build what we need to deal with our bees. And those pieces are the carpenter and the squeezer. So I've built those, and I really just need to find a place where I can put them, sort of temporarily. So let's just put the carpenter, say, here. These both do need power, and we'll put the squeezer there. And so that way they're both receiving power through our power grid. Okay. Requires energy. I've got energy. All right. Now, I'm going to start with the squeezer, and what we're going to do with the squeezer is we're going to use these wheat seeds that I have collected from harvesting my wheat farm that I have out front. Every once in a while, I go out and harvest it, and I end up with a whole bunch of extra seeds, which is fine, because now we'll be able to use them. Because what we need to create is something called seed oil. And so we close the doors here. So we go over to the squeezer. It's pretty simple. We put in the seeds, and it gets squeezed down into seed oil. That's pretty much it. It'll accumulate here in this tank. Each one of these seeds, if I remember correctly, and it may show me, oops, if I click here, no, anybody, anywhere? Let's see, I believe, yeah, each one of these seeds will create 0.003 seed oil. So not a whole lot, but it will eventually accumulate. And then all we need to do is put a can of some kind in here, and it will fill up the can and give us a can of seed oil. We can use cans, we can use capsules, and I think that's about it. These capsules, I believe, are made by with beeswax, which we don't have, but the cans are just made by tin. So I will run upstairs, and I don't have enough tin, but I will run upstairs and not right now. I keep forgetting I'm not going to show you guys crafting because it's boring. But I need to make some cans, so I will do that. And then what we need to do is we're going to need to build an apiary, which looks like this. And apiaries are made with an impregnated casing, which is made from logs with seed oil in the carpenter. So we'll squeeze our seeds into the seed oil, we'll put it into a can, we'll take that with some logs, put it into the carpenter, and that will make the impregnated casing here, and we combine that with some more wood, and that will give us our apiary, which we can use to I guess work our bees, if you want to call it that, to get our bees producing for us. So when I get to that point, yeah, I'll show you when I get to various points along those steps. Okay, I've made some cans out of the tin, and you can see I put in 4 stacks of seeds, and I'm over halfway through them, and I haven't even gotten up to this first little notch here. But let's put in a can and see if I don't yet have enough for a full can of seed oil. So if my guess is that this line would represent one bucket, that's usually what it means in the Forestry mod, and each one of these seeds provides 0.003, was that it? 0.003? let me look again. Yeah, 0.003, which obviously is not very much at all. So I get out my handy dandy little calculator here, and I'm going to need 333 seeds, which would be a total of over 5 stacks. And I put in 4, so I'm probably not going to have enough. So I'll go harvest up some more seeds, put them in there, and hopefully we'll be able to get ourselves a can of seed oil fairly soon. Okay, I put some more seeds in there, and I happen to notice that this looks like it may be right above the level there for the one bucket. So I'm going to put in a can and see what happens. Nope, not quite there yet. So pretty soon, I hope we'll wait and see it happen here shortly. Well, I used up all my seeds, and the seed oil is above the bar. Let's put in a can, and yep, there we go. It filled it up, and I now have a can of seed oil, which I can actually burn in a biogas engine for energy. But I don't really need any power. I seem to be doing very well with my steam engines. So now that I have this seed oil can, I can go back to the carpenter here. And the impregnated casing is made like this. Nope. Oh, it's made like this. Yep. And then I think I need to put the seed oil here. Ah. And there's the impregnated casing. And I think I click. Oh, it's working. The little yellow line is moving up there. So obviously not a very slow process at all. And boom, I got an impregnated casing. And actually, I did not even use up all of the seed oil from that can, so I can apparently make some more should I need to, which is good. So now that I've got the impregnated casing, I can go and make my apiary. So I'm going to do that. I'll be right back. Okay, I have built my apiary, and now I just need to find a place outside that I can put it in order to have my bees start, doing their stuff. So let's go over here and let's excuse me, Bessie, thank you. Go outside. Hello, horsey. Still tied up? Yes, good. Okay. Now, before I get too far in this, I will mention that there are a lot of things that you can do with bees and breeding them and trees and making new kinds of trees and all kinds of stuff. But I am not going to get into that. There's a lot to it, and to be frankly honest, it doesn't interest me a whole lot. I'm basically only doing this because it'll be a way for me to get string, and that's what I want to do now. But there is a lot more you can do with bees, but I'm probably not going to get involved in that. So I have my apiary here. And I can just set it, I can usually just plunk it down anywhere, so I'm going to put it right there. Now, the interface for the apiary is pretty simple. You are going to put a princess bee in the top slot here and a drone bee in this slot here. They will then mate and become a queen bee, so we'll do that. And so now they are mating, and then there will be, doesn't take too long, and now you see I have a tropical queen. And the tropical queen will now, this green bar represents the lifespan of the queen, and throughout its lifespan it will produce honeycombs for us. Now, I am apparently in a hostile environment. The machine or its inhabitants cannot work in this biome, and I was afraid that that was going to happen. Here is the problem. The biome that I'm in, let's look real quick. I am in a savanna biome. I'm pointing at my screen, which probably doesn't do you a lot of good because you can't see me pointing. But if you look on the left side, there's a bunch of words and numbers, and the second from the bottom says B savanna. That means I'm in a savanna biome, which is a warm and very dry, unfortunately, type of a biome. So you can see the temperature is 120% of normal, and the humidity is 10% of normal. That is actually the bad part there. You see, if you remember, we got these tropical bees from a jungle beehive, a jungle biome, and jungles are very wet environments, so their humidity is a lot higher and their temperature is probably also warm, but more importantly, it's the wetness that is a key thing. Now, the bees can usually operate within a certain tolerance zone of temperature and humidity, and I don't know the details as far as how far up or down on those scales the tropical bees can go, but clearly I'm not within whatever it needs, because again, I've been told that this environment is not going to work for my queen. So I need to find a way to increase the humidity. I'm going to take the bee out because there is no point in leaving her in there when I can, I might as well hang on to her, basically. And I'm going to go ahead and take out this apiary. I wonder what you're supposed to use to dig up. There we go. All right, so I got my apiary back. Okay, I think I might be in a little bit of luck here. I'm not very far. I'm over by this village that's, this is my base. It's fairly close to my base. And I noticed that this is a plains biome. If you look at, again, that second to the last line on the left in white, the biome is plains. And so I stopped. I put down my alveary. I apologize. Put down my apiary. And you can see the climate here is a normal temperature and a normal humidity. And when I put my bee in there, I am not getting that it's a hostile environment. And you can see these little particle effects that are given off that are supposed to represent the bees going out and buzzing and doing their thing. So I seem to have, it should be noted that tropical bees are poisonous if you're around them too much, so you don't want to stand near them. So yeah, I appear to be able to I can get bees working in this general area, and I'm going to put a marker here and say that this is where my apiary is, so I don't lose it at some point in time in the future. There's actually special bee clothing that you can make which will protect you from these poisonous effects, but I don't see the bees flying out anymore. We may be in a problem. Yes, we have no flowers. And what that actually means is that they're not finding the right flowers. So there are different kinds of bees in the Forestry mod, and the different bees require different kinds of flowers. So you can't, it's not just a, any flower will do for any, what am I trying to say? Not every flower will do for every bee. You have to get the flower that's specific for that particular kind of bee. Now, I'm still being poisoned by this thing. How long is this going to last? I'll turn that off. And let me eat some food so I can heal up. My horse is wandering away from me. Get back here. All right. Let me, I'm going to head back to base and get what I hope will be the flowers, and I'm going to come back. I'm going to find the closest point where I can put down this aviary within this plains biome, which is actually fairly close. I can go pretty darn close, I think. Anyway, let me do this real quick and sleep through the night, and I will be back in a minute. Okay, morning time, and you can see where the biomes change by the difference in the colors of grass. So here is plains, here is savanna. There is a slight blending of the colors. As you can see, this is savanna. This is actually savanna here, I think. This would be plains. Let me get in there. Plains, and this is plains. So the colors are blended, but clearly this is a dark, less greenish color, I guess would be the way I would call it, as opposed to here. So this is how I can tell where the plains area is. And right around in this area is kind of the closest I basically can get to my base. I'm going to try and plunk down my my apiary again and check out the humidity. Seems to be right. And I will put, okay, before I put in my bees, as I said, that each kind of bee requires some type of flower, what the forestry mod considers to be the flower for that bee. I don't recall exactly, but I think that vines are considered the flower of choice for the tropical bees. The main thing that I remember from it is that it's something that is represented by the biome that it comes from. And in jungle biomes, you have vines, clearly enough. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to put in the tropical bee, and it will start to have its little particle effects come out. And assuming that it is vines, it should then just continue to operate and hopefully produce the honeycombs that it needs. Now, I'll come back and check this, but the next thing is that these 7 slots here represent, within the honeycomb type of a pattern, represent what the bee will produce. I noticed that this, just now as an aside, this level of the queen bee's life dropped a little bit, so I am assuming that that means that it's fine with the vine there. Anyway, this honeycomb pattern here is where the items that the bee produces will be put, which will be the honeycombs, and then at the point where it dies, there will be a replacement princess and a replacement drone. These 3 slots are for frames, and frames allow the bee to... a little bit confused on this part, I will admit. They either allow the bee to live longer, or they allow the bee to produce more or produce faster. I'm not exactly sure. But there's basically 2 types of frames that we can make. The untreated and the impregnated frames. They're similar recipes, sticks and string, or impregnated sticks and string. And of course, impregnated sticks are going to be sticks that are made in the carpenter with that seed oil that we've had from before. So, oh, I can't believe I just did that. Pick you back up. Now, there's a third type of a frame, which is called a proven frame, but you cannot make that. You have to either find those, or you might encounter them via a certain type of villager that will trade you bee products or bee-related merchandise. And sometimes you can buy them from them, or you can find them in their possession. Now, I don't know if I had found any frames. I don't recall, and I don't see any, so I'm going to figure that I probably did not. But we can make a few frames here real quick. We will go down to our carpenter, and we will eliminate that recipe because we're not going to use that recipe, and we're going to make that recipe. And so we'll make ourselves some impregnated sticks. Now, 8 of them is what we would need to make one, what was it called again? One impregnated frame. So it looks like I might be able to make, let's see. Oh, well, I'm going to need more seed oil, and I don't have enough seeds to make any more seed oil, so kind of screwed myself on that one because I didn't really figure out how much seed oil I would need. But I can make at least one impregnated frame, and then I will make a couple of the untreated frames. Should be no problem. So we'll do that. Get those sticks. I just realized I took 2 out of there and I'm not going to use them. And then I need some string. 3 pieces of string will take me there. And I know I said I wouldn't do any crafting, but this is going to be really quick. And it's the last thing that I need to show you. So 2 untreated frames and 1 impregnated frame. And you can mix and match them. The difference, as I understand it, between the 2 types of frames is how long they last. They have a durability that will get used up over time, and the impregnated ones will last longer than the untreated ones. And the proven ones, which you can only get via special circumstances, will last even longer. But anyway, let's head over to our apiary, and I can see it's still running, so that's a good sign. It's satisfied with the vines there. And I don't want to get too close, but I'll put in this impregnated frame, put in an untreated frame, and another untreated frame, and you can see that the durability is already starting to occur with the frames. As I said, they will take durability damage over time, but they're pretty easy to make, even the untreated ones, so it's not that bad of a deal. So anyway, I'm going to wait until the lifespan of this bee runs down. The bees will only operate in the daytime, I'm pretty sure. And I think they also have to have a clear view of the sky, so you can't put anything over them. So it's not like I can put them inside of a building or anything. And I got to make sure I don't stand too close to them because they will poison me. But when that apiary is done, when that queen bee is done, I will come back and I'll show you what we have gotten as far as what it has produced. Okay, I came down to check on the apiary. And the particle effects for the bees are gone, which is a pretty good sign that it has completed its cycle. And so looking through, it certainly has. So you can see the queen is gone, the queen has died off, and in its place, this is what has been produced. There's a tropical princess, 2 tropical drones, and 4 of these silky combs. So we'll take out the silky combs, we will put the tropical princess with a tropical drone back. You can see here the durability damage that has taken place with my frames. The untreated frames are a lot, have taken more damage than the impregnated frame. So again, that just goes to show the impregnated frames would last longer. So as much as possible, it would be nice to create those, but it does require a lot of seed oil, and I don't have a very good supply of seed oil, so I'm not quite sure if that's what I'm going to do, but we'll look into that. And once I put this drone back with the princess, again, they will mate, create the queen, and then the queen will again start producing more stuff. I'm going to back away so I don't get the poison effect. And that's all there is to the bees as far as getting them to do what they need to do. Now, I will be able to automate this process. There is a way that when the queen dies, I will be able to feed the princess and one of the drones back into the apiary, where again they will become another queen, and then I will also take out the silky combs and put them into the next piece of equipment which we will use, which is called the centrifuge. So I'm going to go show you that. Be right back. Okay, headed back down to the power room with a centrifuge in hand. And, well, I'm running out of room down in the power room. Let's just put it right there, okay? Centrifuge is very easy to use. Take your silky combs or honeycombs or any kind of combs you get from your bees, throw it in there, of course, hook it up to power. Everything needs power, and it will process them. And I got a honey drop and a silky propolis. And I got a honey drop and a silky propolis. I think that each one of these silky combs will give me, it'll give me a honey drop for sure, and then there's an 80% chance of a silky propolis. I can build some other things with it as well. But looks like I ended up with 4 of each, which is good. Now I take the silky propolis and I put it back into the centrifuge. See, now with that, where is it at here? Nope, here. I have a 60% chance of getting a silk wisp and a 10% chance of getting propolis. So let's see what we end up with. I ended up with 3 silk wisps out of those 4 things, which is good. And then those I can simply put into crafting, and I will get a piece of string, like so. So let's head back upstairs real quick. So all that work, and I ended up with a piece of string. Yay! Alright, so obviously a fairly time-consuming methodology of getting strings, but at the same time, as long as I stay away from that apiary, because it'll poison me if I get near it while it's working, As long as I stay away from it, it'll generate these things for me automatically. And once I hook everything up, some extra piping, and then running everything into my applied Energistics system, it's going to generate string for me automatically in perpetuity, and I won't have to touch another thing after I have it all set up properly. So that'll be really good to have lots of string, and I'm going to need string because the next goal that I'm probably going to need to work on, well, I'm not exactly sure what my next goal is that I'm going to work on. I'm going to need a lot of string to build something. So anyway, that's it for this episode. Thanks once again for joining me. I really do appreciate it. I'll see you next time.